Welcome to the first episode of the How to Counter series, where I shall teach you how to counter some of the most infamous characters known to existence. Today, we shall be learning how to counter the infamous Electro Pea and all of his shockingly powerful bullshit. Let's get started. Firstly, before we learn how to handle and counter them in combat, we must first look at what they are capable of and how much of a threat they are on the lawn. The Electro Pea is a pea shooter variant whose primary is that of a powerful manual detonation cannon that can either deal 36 damage for a direct impact or 27 for the manual explosion. However, Electro Pea also has two additional perks that make him significantly more threatening. The first of these being that he has chain lightning damage, allowing him to deal with groups easier than most variants. The second, more unnoticeable perk is that he has a faster movement speed by default, traveling 15% faster than most of the other pea shooters. This small increase in speed will allow him to cover ground much more quickly than all the other variants, which also means that he'll be even faster when in hyper. Now that we know what he can do, let us analyze what his strongest matchups are, where the fight is entirely in the EP's favor. Given that Electro Pea is a manual detonation character and that his shots have a rather large blast radius to them, he will be able to dominate lower health classes such as scientists or imps with minimal effort because of his enhanced movement speed. It also makes approaching him as an SB more difficult since he can more easily escape from your fists. His chain damage is also extremely strong, especially with him having a large blast radius, meaning that unless it is a coordinated effort, under no circumstances should you ever take on an EP as a group, as you are just setting yourself up for an easy vanquish for the Electro Pea. However, Electro Pea does struggle immensely against higher health classes such as All-Stars or Z-Mechs, as his time to kill against those classes is rather poor, as it takes him well over 3 seconds just to kill an All-Star with direct hits. This means that he'll be forced to use his high damage abilities such as being bomb or hyper as to make himself more difficult to hit or to escape, which can greatly put the situation in your favor. Pirates are also another great counter against Electro Pea, as they can very easily take advantage of his lack of range as a manual detonation character, and even if the EP gets up close, they can use the barrel to sponge and survive the assault with hyper, and then use said barrel to blow them to smithereens. However, EP's biggest counter would be any form of stun that locks him in place or restricts his movement heavily, which both imps and engineers have abilities dedicated to such an effect, with the engineer being a much bigger threat to EP, as the 2-second stun makes him not only a sitting duck, but he also cannot fight back at all, essentially making him a free kill to all that spots him. This makes engineers one of EP's strongest counters, as not only do they have access to a stun that can effectively force an EP to halt his movement, but they can also rival his mobility with their jackhammers, allowing them to hunt them down more easily. One final tip would be to only engage against an EP if you know for absolute certain that they do not have hyper available, as hyper is perhaps EP's strongest ability in his kit, so taking him on without it available will grant you a major advantage. Before I end this video, I wish to give a special thanks to Beanie Boo Fun for allowing me to spectate him in this video and give us a demonstration of how much of a dominant force EP can be if he is not properly countered. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.